What's up, guys? It's your boy Dan, and I'm back with another episode of the Surviving Scamazon podcast. So, in this episode, we're going to be talking about specifically Amazon has recently put out some information about like safety and procedures at like the workplace. So, I was going to go over them, just do a little personal fact check on their health and safety report. So basically, they put out some information and then I tell you how it really is. So, what Amazon says is that every shift at Amazon begins with a discussion on safety. So, they're referring to the stand ups that we do before every shift. And then I think once throughout the shift of like a 10-hour shift, we do another like mini stand up meeting. So, they'll be going over like how much volume we need to move. Depending on your department, it's based on that. So we do that, and we do have some safety practices like stretching, and they talk about the volume we need to move and safety reminders. Another thing that they put out was that Amazon says associates can provide regular feedback on safety. This is true. What they said was that Amazon enables us to go ahead of safety risks by soliciting information through a monthly rotation of questions that pop up on our scanners and computers when we log into work. This is true. The responses to these little surveys provide the leadership with a deeper understanding of safety and sentiment and everything that's going on, and it helps them identify risks. So with this, they actually do have something that pops up. They ask you questions like, uh, do you feel safe? Do you feel like you belong at Amazon? Do you know that Amazon offers tuition assistance? Have you thought about leaving your job in the recent weeks or months? Why have you thought about leaving your job? And there's like answers to them like uh, pay increase. They get an idea. So I'm pretty sure at this point, if we all keep hitting pay increase, they'll get the message that we want a pay increase. And then the next one is that the associates have access to an app for their mental health. So this is actually true in some places and in others not so much. So depending on what type of building you work in, you may or may not actually get access to these like every hour. It's like a 15 to 1 minute like application that pops up on your screen, and it'll be like asking you to take a meditation break or take a deep breath or do some micro stretches at your station. Well, at that point, a lot of people will either just sit there and do that, but it doesn't help your time. So what a lot of people will do is they'll literally take that time to run to the bathroom because it's just a good time to run to the bathroom. On the other hand, some people write on the VOA board things like they're going insane and you know certain stuff like just stuff at the facility that they got going on. All right, and then moving on. Uh, this is like still the kind of same thing. They're saying that there's these mind and body moments that we can have during the shift, which is like again micro stretches and you know just stuff to make sure that you're limber, I would say, and that you're moving around. And then we have like a lot of you know stuff to avoid injuries and muscle fatigue. And then it also says that they put out that new associates receive ample training on health and safety. And they do. They tell you a lot of advice, which you may or may not be able to do. For example, if something's damaged, like dog food or any item is damaged, sometimes the person won't want to deal with the headache of marking that item as damaged and scanning it. So they'll just pick around that option. And then they'll just have all this dog food that's been going bad up there for a while. As far as like, if you go to AmCare, they're very likely to downplay your injury or tell you whether or not you can scan your badge to account for the time that you came to AmCare. So that's also a slight issue that comes up a lot. So if you don't scan, it's not recorded. And if AmCare is downplaying your injury, they might not let you scan it, or they might just tell you to use your time to go home or whatever. It varies from situation to situations. Another thing that they put out was that Amazon provides training for emergency situations. This one, I'll say yes, they definitely do, because even at mine, for example, at my building, we've had a like string of like leaks, and it's kind of dangerous. So they have everybody stop working, stop whatever they're doing in the middle of whatever they're doing, and they have everybody evacuate to the outside parking lot. They make sure they get accountability of everybody, make sure everyone's safe and out of the buildings. So to be fair on that one, they do a pretty good job about that. And yeah, that's really all there is to say about that. Good job. And another statement that they made was Amazon workers are rotated from job to job to minimize fatigue and ergonomic stress. Uh, so what they're saying with this job rotation program is like they labor share you to a different department, or they have you do something other than your normal position, especially if you're on accommodations, which can also become a whole situation in and of itself. Like your accommodations might be valid for an injury for like 3 months or whatever time, and then once they say that your accommodations are up, they're up. So you have to like work around that issue, and they'll labor share you and try to keep you out of like aggravating your injury sometimes. But a lot of people do complain about their accommodations being dropped and then injuries being aggravated, or them just having to to quit altogether and stuff like that. But you can also try to transfer positions, but it's still very easy to get caught in a repetitive task. There's some people that seem to get moved around if they need, but it feels like it's on a case by case bias. Like if you're really good with the PA or really close with the manager, they can hook you up with some specific positions. And yeah, it's a lot. But that is a full report on their report on health and safety. Thank you. This has been the Surviving Scamazon podcast. Thanks for coming through. Don't forget to like, comment, share. We need to be vocal about the working conditions and make sure that we get a dialogue started. I would just keep saying that. And if you guys subscribe, like, or share, it helps get us all together so we can fix these problems that we all experience. Scamazon podcast, only on YouTube.